Assalamualaikum. I am Talat Suhail. I welcome you all to Virtual University's program on Theories of Personality. Dear students, today is our lecture number 5. We will be talking about Sigmund Freud's theory of personality. तो आज भी हम psychoanalytic theory के ऊपर ही बात करेंगे and we'll try to finish our discussion on that. But before going on to this lecture number 5, let us recap what we did in lecture number 4. जनाब लेक्चर नंबर 4 में हमने कहा था सिगमंड फ्रॉइड इज अ जाइगेंटिक इंटेलेक्चुअल, a controversial figure, a person who has been criticized and very much extensively discussed in the field of psychology. किसी फिगर के ऊपर इतना कुछ नहीं लिखा गया और किसी को इतना क्रिटिसाइज नहीं किया गया जितना सिगमंड फ्रॉइड को किया गया। जब भी हम सिगमंड फ्रॉइड की साइको एनालिटिक थ्योरी की बात करेंगे, जब भी हम सिगमंड फ्रॉइड की कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशंस का जिक्र करेंगे, तो उसमें सबसे पहले हिज थ्योरी ऑफ पर्सनैलिटी, his method of treatment, that is psychoanalysis, his set of clinical observations, और उन set of clinical observations पे he developed his concept of ego defense mechanisms. Number 4, he gave us methods of investigating or tapping the unconscious, और उसने हमें बहुत सारी टेक्निक्स दी जिसमें फ्री एसोसिएशन, ड्रीम एनालिसिस, एनालिसिस ऑफ रेजिस्टेंस, एनालिसिस ऑफ स्लिप ऑफ टंग, स्लिप ऑफ पेन, और जनाब बहुत सारी चीज़ों के ऊपर फोकस किया। नाउ इफ वी लुक एट हिज थ्योरी ऑफ पर्सनैलिटी, उसमें दो चीज़ों के ऊपर बहुत फोकस है। नंबर 1, साइकिक डिटर्मिनिज्म, दैट इज ऑल आवर बिहेवियर हैज अ पर्पस एंड गोल, whatever we do, it is because of certain goal, motive, purpose behind it. उसके बाद in his personality theory there is a predominance of unconscious motive and processes. बहुत ज़्यादा फोकस है unconscious motives और processes पे. Number 3, he emphasizes on childhood experiences. और फिर अगर हम अब देखें तो there is a recent translation of psychoanalytic theory into cognitive psychology, और अब ये ज़्यादा स्टडी की जाती है cognitive psychology के अंडर। Now let us go through some of the core elements of his approach. जनाब जो core elements हैं या जो basic fundamental constructs और concepts हैं वो relate करते हैं। Number 1, levels of consciousness और theory of consciousness, जिसमें हमारा फोकस है कॉन्शियस, प्री कॉन्शियस, अनकॉन्शियस पे, और फ्रॉइड के लिए अनकॉन्शियस बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है। उसके बाद एनालिसिस ऑफ मेंटल स्ट्रक्चर और एनाटॉमी ऑफ पर्सनैलिटी का हमने जिक्र किया था, जिसमें वी डिस्कस्ड एट लेंथ इट, ईगो, सुपर ईगो, और हमने ये देखा था कि द ईगो हैज अ डिफिकल्ट रोल because it has to mediate and resolve conflicts between it and superego. So ego is the rational control of the personality. और इसके ऊपर अभी हम बात कर रहे थे, तो we came to the end of our lecture. Now today we'll be talking about psychosexual stages of development. और साइकोसेक्सुअल स्टेजेस ऑफ डेवलपमेंट में हम बात करेंगे आपसे ओरल, एनल, फैलिक स्टेज की, लेटेंसी पीरियड की और जेनिटल स्टेज की। बात आपसे करेंगे इंस्टिंक्ट्स की, लाइफ इंस्टिंक्ट की, डेथ इंस्टिंक्ट की। ये देखेंगे कि जिन लोगों में लाइफ इंस्टिंक्ट्स और डेथ इंस्टिंक्ट्स इन दोनों की डोमिनेंस है तो किस what sort of personalities we have. तो बात आपसे करेंगे लाइफ इंस्टिंक्ट की और एरो है, उसके बाद जनाब बात होगी डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म्स और कूपिंग स्ट्रेटजीज. Whenever the ego feels that there's a threat and it thinks that it will not be able to cope with this threat, it uses a class of defense mechanism or कूपिंग स्ट्रेटजीज. तो बात आपसे होगी डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म्स की और कूपिंग स्ट्रेटजीज की. उसके बाद आपके साथ एट लेंथ बात करेंगे मेथड्स और वेज ऑफ टैपिंग द अनकॉन्शियस, और ये मीन्स ऑफ इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग द अनकॉन्शियस ज्यादातर हमें सिगमंड फ्रॉइड ने दिए. इफेक्टिव मेथड्स हैं ऑफ रीचिंग द अनकॉन्शियस. सो लेट अस बिगिन with our lecture number 5 today. So let us go through what we'll be talking about, and that is instincts. Freud recognized the existence of two basic groups of life and death instincts. The former group includes all the forces which serve to maintain vital life processes and assures propagation of the species. Because of the significance attributed to them in the psychic organization of the individuals, the sex instincts were singled out by Freud as the most salient of the life instincts for the development of personality. The energy force underlying the sexual instincts is called libido, derived from the Latin word for wish or desire or libidinal energy. तो बात आपसे हो रही है इंस्टिंक्ट्स की, और हमने कहा एन इंस्टिंक्ट इज एन इनहेरिटेड कंडीशन, और लाइफ इंस्टिंक्ट से हम मुराद लेते हैं दैट पर्टिकुलर एनर्जी or that particular force which is used by an individual in carrying out all his vital activities. तो आप जो भी काम कर रहे हैं उन कामों को करने के लिए आपको लिबिडो या लिबाइडनल एनर्जी की जरूरत है, और ये एनर्जी आ रही है जी लाइफ इंस्टिंक्ट से, या जिसे आप कहते हैं एरोस. Instinct is an inherited condition that gives our behavior direction. Two kinds of instincts, life instincts or arrows, bodily needs, survival, pleasure. Death instinct or thanatos, aggressive behavior and self-destructive behavior. So arrows is broadly defined as constructive positive behavior. Your creativity, knowledge-seeking behavior, all approaching behavior. Examples are such as writing a book, helping an old man to cross a road, building a cancer hospital for people in the city by Imran Khan, setting up an old people's home by Abdul Sattar Eidi. Well, these are all examples of arrows. Thanatos is represented by all negative destructive behaviors. Examples are all acts of terrorism, crime, harassment against women and children. So the other group represent destructive side of the personality. Examples of all criminals, terrorists, robbers and thieves. बात आपसे हो रही है इंस्टिंक्ट की. हमने कहा इंस्टिंक्ट इज एन इनहेरिटेड कंडीशन, एंड सिगमंड फ्रॉइड इज टॉकिंग अबाउट टू टाइप्स ऑफ इंस्टिंक्ट्स, लाइफ इंस्टिंक्ट्स, and this life instinct is reflected in all the vital activities and processes that an individual is involved in. And the energy provided to the life instinct comes from libido or libidinal source. Second is thanatos, or all your destructive behavioral patterns, self-destructive, self-damaging, all acts of terrorism, all negative behaviors are labeled under the death instinct or thanatos. So आपके सारे positive behavior, हर अच्छा काम जो आप कर रहे हैं, चाहे आप कैंसर हॉस्पिटल बना रहे हैं, या आप ओल्ड पीपल्स होम बना रहे हैं, या आप एक बूढ़े आदमी को सड़क क्रॉस करवा रहे हैं, आप अपने किसी फ्रेंड को पढ़ाई में मदद करें, वेल दैट इज थ्रू एरोस, दैट इज लाइफ इंस्टिंक्ट. जब आप कोई चीज तोड़ रहे हैं, किसी को नुकसान पहुंचा रहे हैं, when you are involved in a negative behavioral pattern, well, that is you are under the control of death instinct or thanatos. So according to Freud, these are the two major categories of instincts, और ये हमें नजर भी आता है लोगों में. जनाब इसके बाद let us talk about psychosexual stages of development. The psychoanalytic theory of development is based on two premises. The first, the genetic approach, which emphasizes that adult personality is shaped by various types of early childhood experiences. The second is that a certain amount of sexual energy, libido, is present at birth and thereafter progresses through a series of psychosexual stages that are rooted in the instinctual processes of the organism. बात आपसे हो रही है फ्रॉइड की साइकोसेक्सुअल स्टेजेस ऑफ डेवलपमेंट की, और हमने कहा कि जब भी हम इसको डिस्कस करते हैं तो देयर आर ऑलवेज टू एक्सप्लेनेशंस और टू प्रेमिसेस ऑन विच दिस थ्योरी इज बेस्ड. नंबर वन इज द जेनेटिक अप्रोच. इस जेनेटिक अप्रोच के अकॉर्डिंगली द अडल्ट इंडिविजुअल इज शेप्ड और लेट्स से हिज पर्सनैलिटी इज मोल्डेड बाय अर्ली चाइल्डहुड एक्सपीरियंसेस. तो आपकी पर्सनैलिटी के ऊपर आपके अर्ली चाइल्डहुड एक्सपीरियंसेस का बहुत इन्फ्लुएंस और असर होता. द सेकेंड अप्रोच इज दैट एट द टाइम ऑफ बर्थ एवरी इंडिविजुअल is born with an amount of sexual energy, libido, and this libido is present at time of birth and it passes through a series or stages of psychosexual development, and this is reflected through each stage. अब जो हमारे पास पहली explanation है, that is early childhood experiences have an influence in your personality development. दूसरे, that there is a storehouse of libido, libidinal energy present at time of birth, and it passes through, it gradually moves through a series or stages of development as an organism is growing up. तो जनाब ये जो psychosexual stages of development हैं, they include the oral stage, the anal stage, the phallic stage, the latency period, and the genital stage. Now, each stage is very important. At every stage, there are certain needs, and these needs have to be gratified. They have to be fulfilled. If the needs are not satisfied, there is a danger of fixation or regression. So we say at every stage of development certain physical psychological needs arise, and these needs have to be gratified, they have to be fulfilled, and if these needs are not satisfied, they appear as a fixation, as regression, as a personality disorder. जनाब इन ये जो स्टेजेस ऑफ डेवलपमेंट है, इसमें फ्रॉइड का एक बहुत कंट्रोवर्शियल कॉन्सेप्ट आया, ऑडिपल कॉम्प्लेक्स और इलेक्ट्रा कॉम्प्लेक्स. दो कॉम्प्लेक्सेस के ऊपर बहुत फ्रॉइड ने फोकस किया. ऑडिपल कॉम्प्लेक्स, दैट इज अ सन्स लव टू पोजेस एंड मैरी द मदर फिगर. इलेक्ट्रा कॉम्प्लेक्स, अ डॉटर्स लव for the father figure, and along with this love there is a desire to get rid of the mother figure. So these are the two complexes which we'll discuss at the phallic stage. और ये इन psychosexual stages of development में हमने कहा हर stage important है. हर stage के ऊपर there are needs. These needs have to be gratified. If they are not gratified, there is a danger of fixation or regression. तो बात आपसे हो रही है जनाब फ्रॉइड की साइकोसेक्सुअल डेवलपमेंटल थियोरी ऑफ पर्सनैलिटी की, जो हमने कहा इट बिगिंस फ्रॉम बर्थ एंड इट गोज अप टिल द चाइल्ड इज 12 years old, और लेट्स से प्यूबर्टी. So basically we are talking about development from birth to 12 years. So that is early childhood. ये एक ऐसा दौर है where the real personality is being molded, the personality is developing. So we are talking about psychosexual stages of development. Dear students, we said that each stage is very important. And at each stage needs arise and they have to be gratified, they have to be satisfied. So let us go through now through each and every stage. The oral stage. The oral stage of psychosexual development begins from birth and extends up to 18 months. Infants or babies are totally dependent upon others for survival. Dependence is their only way of obtaining instinctual gratification. Mouth is obviously the body structure most frequently associated at this time with both reduction of biological drives as well as pleasurable drives. बात आपसे हो रही है जनाब ओरल स्टेज की, जो कि हमने कहा इट बिगिंस फ्रॉम बर्थ and it goes up till the baby is 18 months old, and it is over here that the very survival of the infant depends on others. Mouth is the main area of gratification of needs, and all biological needs and pleasurable sensations are derived through the mouth. So agar if needs which arise and are not satisfied at this stage, well, we come across an orally fixated person. हम एक ऐसे इंडिविजुअल के अक्रॉस आएंगे जो कि आपको बहुत ज्यादा नेल बाइटिंग करता हुआ नजर आएगा. पेंसिल पकड़ी है तो उसे चबाना शुरू कर दिया, पेपर का टुकड़ा हाथ में तो उसे चबाना शुरू कर दिया. So there would be a fixation on oral stage. बहुत च्युइंगम खाना, बहुत सिगरेट पीना, बहुत नाखून चबाना, well, these are all signs of orally fixated individuals. I'm not saying that. That is Sigmund Freud's version. The second stage, the anal stage. The anal stage, it begins when the child is 18 months old and moves up till the child is 3. During this period, the focus of libidinal energy shifts from the mouth to the anal region. Young children derive considerable pleasure from both the retention and expulsion of feces. At this stage, toilet training begins. जनाब बात आपसे हो रही है second important psychosexual stage of development, which begins when the baby is 18 months old till he is 3, and the main area of interest now shifts from the mouth to the anus, and basically the focus over here during this period is proper toilet training. इस एज से पहले टॉयलेट ट्रेनिंग नहीं शुरू होनी चाहिए, बहुत हाश किस्म की टॉयलेट ट्रेनिंग नहीं होनी चाहिए, बहुत रूडली और स्कोल्डिंग के साथ, डांट डपट के साथ नहीं टॉयलेट ट्रेनिंग होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि अगर इस तरह होगा तो द चाइल्ड पर्पसली इज गोइंग टू डेवलप एन एनल सैडिस्टिक पर्सनैलिटी, यानी एक ऐसी सैडिस्टिक पर्सनैलिटी जो दूसरों को तकलीफ पहुंचाकर या कुछ अजियत दे के खुश होना. So basically we come across a second stage of psychosexual development. जनाब तीसरी stage, that is the phallic stage. It begins when the child is 3 years old up till when he is 5. This is a very, very crucial period. Now, what happens again, that during this stage, the child goes to school. So, from family, he goes to peer group. Number 2, his interest in his genital area also develops. Number 3, यहाँ पे वो कॉन्सेप्ट आता है जिसके ऊपर फ्रॉइड को सबसे ज्यादा क्रिटिसाइज किया गया, ऑडिपस कॉम्प्लेक्स and Electra complex. Oedipal complex is basically the boy child's desire to possess the mother figure, to marry the mother figure, to be with the mother figure always, and to get rid of the father figure. Electra complex, on the other hand, is the girl child's desire to possess the father figure and to get rid of the mother figure. बात आपसे जनाब हो रही है थर्ड इम्पॉर्टेंट साइकोसेक्सुअल स्टेज ऑफ डेवलपमेंट की, द फेलिक स्टेज, जो कि विच बिगिंस व्हेन द चाइल्ड इज 3 years old एंड मूव्स अप टिल व्हेन ही इज 5. और हमने कहा कि यहाँ पर अगेन हिज इंटरेस्ट शिफ्ट्स टू द जेनिटल एरिया of his body. Number 2, we come across the most controversial concept which Sigmund Freud talked about, Oedipus complex and Electra complex. Janab, Oedipus complex or Electra complex are very much seen in children. But what happens that after, when the needs are satisfied at this stage, the boy child begins to develop friendly relations with the father figure and becomes best of chums and pals. The daughter child begins to develop good relations with the mother and develops excellent relationships with mother. So it resolves in this way. लेकिन अगर ये resolve ना हो तो the boy is going to look for mother-like characteristics in his wife, and the girl is going to look for father-like characteristics in the husband if Oedipus complex and Electra complex is not resolved. Number 4, the latency period. Now, technically speaking, this is not a stage, this is a period, and in this period the libido is sublimated. जब मैं ये term use करती हूँ, the libido is sublimated, it means it's channelized, all the energy, all that libido is channelized into non-sexual activities such as intellectual interests, athletics, sports, forming good pair relationships. So that is not a stage, that is a period जहाँ पे आपकी libidinal energy is being sublimated, it is being channelized into non-sexual activities, intellectual activities, sports, or let's say paintings, drawings and other things. The genital stage, it begins when the child is at puberty. 12 साल या puberty वाली एज है जी, और ये वो स्टेज है जहाँ पे the interest in opposite gender begins. यहाँ पर आपको ऐसा नजर आएगा the child is very much interested in making a very good presentation to the opposite gender. लड़के और लड़कियां दोनों आपको आईने के सामने खड़े हुए और बहुत ज्यादा the focus is on making themselves most presentable to the opposite gender. Now this is a very important crucial stage. Along with physical development, endocrinial hormones, endocrine system is secreting a set of secondary sexual hormones, and these secondary sexual hormones are responsible for secondary sexual characteristics such as the formation of beard in boys or thickening of voice or the formation of breast development in females. So basically this is a very crucial stage, and it is during this stage that the child at this stage needs a lot of support, a lot of counseling from the parents, from the teachers, from the peer group. जनाब बात आपसे हम कर रहे हैं साइकोसेक्सुअल स्टेजेस ऑफ डेवलपमेंट की, और हमने ये कहा कि अकॉर्डिंग टू सिगमंड फ्रॉइड देयर आर 5 stages: oral stage, anal stage, phallic stage, latency period and genital stage. Each stage is very important. There are certain needs at each stage, and if these needs are fulfilled and resolved and gratified, we see a healthier individual moving and automatically smoothly sailing into the next stage. If needs are not gratified at this stage, they may appear as a disorder, as a fixation, as regression at a later stage in life. Therefore, Sigmund Freud gives a lot of importance to each and every psychosexual stage of development. और देखने में भी ऐसा ही आया है कि ये सारी स्टेजेस बहुत अहम हैं. जनाब, बात आपसे हो रही है सिगमंड फ्रॉइड की पर्सनैलिटी थ्योरी की, जिसमें हमने अभी आपसे पहले जिक्र किया इंस्टिंक्ट्स का, टाइप्स ऑफ इंस्टिंक्ट्स का जिक्र किया, उसके बाद साइकोसेक्सुअल स्टेजेस ऑफ डेवलपमेंट की बात की. लेट अस नाउ टॉक अबाउट व्हाट इज एंजाइटी. फ्रॉइड इन हिज क्लिनिकल प्रैक्टिस, through his clinical observations, he noted that anxiety is actually a threat to the ego. और जब भी whenever ego thinks or ego feels that it just cannot take this threat, it takes help from ego defense mechanisms or from coping strategies. और इन ईगो डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म्स को और इन कूपिंग स्ट्रेटजीज को असल में इसलिए इंसान इस्तेमाल करता है कि वो जो ईगो के ऊपर थ्रेट है, दैट इट मे नॉट बी एबल टू कंट्रोल द इड इम्पल्सेस, और द इड इम्पल्सेस में बिकम सो अनकंट्रोलेबल कि ही वोंट बी एबल टू हैंडल इट. So ego employs coping strategies or defense mechanisms. So now let us talk about defense mechanisms. Freud's initial interest in the phenomena of anxiety was motivated by his interest in explaining neurotic symptoms and treating people suffering from them. The interest at first led him to propose that anxiety is the consequence of inadequately discharged libidinal energy. However, today we know anxiety is a threat to ego. जनाब, बात आपसे कर रहे हैं एंजाइटी की, और हमने कहा कि फ्रॉइड थ्रू हिज क्लिनिकल प्रैक्टिस बाय ट्रीटिंग न्यूरोटिक सिम्टम्स केम अक्रॉस द कंस्ट्रक्ट ऑफ एंजाइटी. And according to Freud, anxiety is a threat to the ego. कितनी तरह की एंजाइटी की फ्रॉइड बात कर रहे हैं? Well, he is talking about 3 types of anxiety: realistic anxiety, neurotic anxiety, moral anxiety. So Freud is talking about 3 types of anxiety: realistic anxiety, neurotic anxiety, and moral anxiety. Anxiety is a threat. Realistic anxiety or reality anxiety is danger in the external world. Neurotic anxiety is fear of the id impulses that they'll be out of control. And moral anxiety is fear of the conscience या ज़मीर जिसे आप कहते हैं. Realistic anxiety, the emotional response to threat or perception of real dangers in the external world, such as poisonous snakes, wild animals, earthquakes, examinations. Well, they are called realistic or objective anxiety, and it is essentially synonymous with fear and may have a negative effect on individuals' ability to cope effectively with the source of danger. बात आपसे हो रही है जनाब टाइप्स ऑफ एंजाइटी की, और उसमें हमने कहा रियलिस्टिक एंजाइटी इज द फर्स्ट type of anxiety about which Freud is talking about, and it is related with a real danger in the environment, a stimulus which is very much real, like poisonous snakes, examination, or let's say wild animals. Well, all these things are a real threat to the individual and they cause anxiety. So that is what is realistic or objective anxiety. Number 2, neurotic anxiety. It is caused by fear that the ego will be unable to control the id instincts, particularly those of sexual aggressive nature, and the example is that the small child quickly learns that the active discharge of his or her libidinal or destructive urges will be met by threats of retaliation from parents or other social agents. जनाब बात हो रही है न्यूरोटिक एंजाइटी की. There is a threat to the ego. The ego thinks that the id impulses are so overwhelming that it will not be able to control them, and since it will not be able to control them, that will cause a problem. For example, if a little child is caught stealing or telling a lie, or if he has stolen something, this very act is a threat to the ego. और ये थ्रेट जो है इसकी वजह से बच्चे को ये खौफ और डर रहता है कि जब भी किसी को पता चलेगा कि मैंने कोई चीज चोरी की है, मैंने झूठ बोला है, he will be punished. So there is always a threat to the ego, and at times the id impulses for the ego are uncontrollable. Then we have got the third type of anxiety, and that is moral anxiety. When the ego is threatened by punishment from the superego, the emotional response is called moral anxiety. It occurs whenever the id strives towards active expression of immoral thoughts or acts, and the superego responds with feeling of shame, guilt and self-condemnation. बात आपसे जनाब हो रही है कि एंजाइटी की, और हमने कहा फॉर फ्रॉइड एंजाइटी मीन्स अ थ्रेट टू द ईगो. और देयर आर 3 types of anxieties Freud discovered through his clinical practice. Number 1, the realistic anxiety, which is related with a real stimulus in the environment. Neurotic anxiety, when there is an id threat to the ego and the ego thinks that it will not be in a position to control the id impulses. Moral anxiety, the id impulses are there and basically superego, or let's say the ego thinks that it will not be able to control these id impulses, and the society and the law will not permit a particular behavior. So that is moral anxiety. जनाब बात आपसे हो रही है कि फ्रॉइड के कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ एंजाइटी विच इज अ थ्रेट टू द ईगो, दूसरे 3 types of anxieties which he discovered through his clinical practice. So let us see what is this threat to the ego. The ego fights the battle to stay at the top of id and superego. The conflicts between id and superego produce anxiety. That is a threat to the ego. The threat or anxiety experienced by the ego is a signal that alerts the ego to use unconscious protective processes that keep primitive emotions associated with conflicts in check. These protective processes are defense mechanisms or coping styles. बात आपसे जनाब हो रही है कि ईगो डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म की. हमने कहा द ईगो इज कॉन्स्टेंटली इन स्टेट ऑफ बैटल टू स्टे एट द टॉप ऑफ id impulses and superego impulses. In this battle, there is threat or anxiety experienced by the ego, and this threat or anxiety alerts the ego to use unconscious protective processes. और ये जो unconscious protective processes हैं, ये आपके तमाम id impulses को, आपके तमाम animal like impulses को controlled और checked रखते हैं. तो ये प्रोटेक्टिव मैकेनिज्म्स जो हैं इनको हम कहते हैं कूपिंग स्टाइल्स और डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म्स. हम बात कर रहे हैं आपसे ईगो डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म्स की. या कूपिंग स्टाइल्स की. ऑल ऑफ दीज डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म्स जिनकी हम आपसे बात करेंगे, all of them operate at the unconscious level. Number 2, they distort reality. Number 3, they protect your ego. तो जनाब जितने ईगो डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म्स की आपसे बात होगी, all of them they are operating at the unconscious level. You are not aware of them. They distort reality. They change the real reality. They change the real picture. And number 3, they protect your ego. So they are a sort of defense system of your personality. बात आपसे करें हम सिगमंड फ्रॉइड की ईगो डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म्स की या कूपिंग स्टाइल्स की, और हमने कहा कि सारे कूपिंग स्टाइल्स में 3 कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स कॉमन है. अनकॉन्शियस लेवल पे ऑपरेट करते हैं, रियलिटी को डिस्टॉर्ट करते हैं और आपकी ईगो को प्रोटेक्ट करते हैं. नाउ देयर आर अ नंबर ऑफ डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म्स, बहुत सारे. वील डिस्कस ऑल ऑफ देम वन बाय वन. Sublimation. Sublimation is considered to be the only healthy constructive strategy against objectionable impulses because it allows the ego to change the aim or object or both of the impulses without inhibiting their expression. For example, for an aggressive and angry man, it is wise to be a boxer. बात आपसे करें ईगो डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म्स की, और उसमें हमने कहा सबसे पहला और सबसे कंस्ट्रक्टिव, सबसे हेल्दी, सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म इज सब्लिमेशन. क्यों ये कंस्ट्रक्टिव, हेल्दी, सिग्निफिकेंट है? बिकॉज इट अलाउस द ईगो to change the aim or object of the impulse without inhibiting or stopping its expression. So a person, for a young man who's very aggressive and very angry, it is wise to become a boxer, a butcher, a wrestler, rather than to inhibit or avoid that aggressive anger within him. So sublimation is the most constructive, healthy ego defense mechanism. Repression. Freud regarded repression as primary ego defense. He described it as selective forgetting. In repression, completely obstructs the expression of unconscious sexual aggressive impulses so that they cannot be admitted to the awareness realm. Example, a teacher has insulted you, and at the end of the day, when a friend reminds you about it, you say, I do not remember the event. जनाब बात आपसे करें दूसरे इम्पॉर्टेंट ईगो डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म की, जो कि है रिप्रेशन, एंड सिगमंड फ्रॉइड लेबल्स इट एज द प्राइमरी ईगो डिफेंस. नाउ इन रिप्रेशन, व्हिच इज सिलेक्टिव फॉरगेटिंग, purposely trying to repress a thought, forget about it so that it does not enter your realm of awareness and it does not hurt your ego. For example, आपकी क्लास में कोई टीचर बेइज्जती करता है and it's very insulting for you, and by the end of you try to forget it, you try to repress it, एंड बाय द एंड ऑफ द डे जब आपका दोस्त याद कराता है कि आज टीचर ने तुम्हारे साथ क्लास में बहुत बुरा किया, तो आप कहते हैं आई डोंट रिमेम्बर व्हाट यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट. सो दैट इज रिप्रेशन. अनदर इम्पॉर्टेंट ईगो डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म, प्रोजेक्शन. As a defense mechanism, projection ranks next to repression in terms of theoretical importance. It refers to the process of unconsciously attributing one's own unacceptable impulses, attitudes, and behaviors to other people or to the environment. Projection thus enables us to blame someone else or something else for our own shortcoming. बात आपसे हो रही है जनाब प्रोजेक्शन की, और हमने कहा प्रोजेक्शन इज दैट ईगो डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म which enables you to blame someone else for your own shortcoming. तो जब फॉल्ट और कमी आप में हो, यू टेक इट out on someone else, you put the blame on someone else for your own shortcoming, well, that is projection. Now let's take an example of projection. Our team lost the cricket match due to poor umpiring, while the fact is that we played poorly. I failed the test because the teacher is against me, while the fact is that I did not prepare the test. जनाब बात आपसे हो रही है प्रोजेक्शन की, जिसमें हमने कहा व्हेन यू पुट द ब्लेम ऑन समवन एल्स फॉर योर ओन शॉर्टकमिंग, जब आप ये कहें कि हमारी क्रिकेट टीम मैच इसलिए हार गई क्योंकि एम्पायरिंग जो थी वो बाइस थी, जबकि ऐसा था कि शायद हम खेले ही बहुत बुरा, या मैं ये कहूँ आई फेल्ड द टेस्ट बिकॉज द टीचर इज अगेंस्ट मी, और द रियलिटी इज दैट आई डिड नॉट प्रिपेयर फॉर द टेस्ट thoroughly. It was not something wrong with the teacher, but it was my poor preparation. Another important ego defense mechanism, displacement. In displacement, the expression of an instinctual impulse is redirected from a more threatening person or object to a less threatening one. For example, the student angered by his professor takes out his aggression at his roommate. The child scolded by her parent proceeds to hit her little sister or kick her dog or smash her toys. So when you are angry, there is aggression and you take out that aggression on a less threatening person, object or event, क्योंकि वहां पे आपको इस बात का डर और खतरा नहीं होता है कि you will be punished for it. So that is displacement. When an individual is severely scolded by the boss for a misbehavior, so if he has to say something nasty to the boss, his boss is going to kick him out. So he is going to take out that aggression either on his subordinates or on his wife or on his pets. So just like the case of a little boy who is scolded by parents, अब अगर वो अपने माँ बाप को कुछ कहेगा तो he'll get further beating. So instead he is going to take out that aggression and anger either on his pet or on his toys, क्योंकि वहां पे वो सारे innocent targets हैं और वो उससे बदला लेने की ताकत नहीं रखते. Dear students, we are talking about ego defense mechanisms. और हमने आपसे अभी तक बात की सब्लिमेशन की, प्रोजेक्शन की, रिप्रेशन की और डिस्प्लेसमेंट की. लेट अस टॉक अबाउट रिएक्शन फॉर्मेशन. Sometimes the ego can control or defend against the expression of a forbidden impulse by consciously expressing its opposite. This is known as reaction formation. As a defensive process, it proceeds in two steps. First, the unacceptable impulse is repressed. Second, the opposite is expressed on a conscious level. जनाब रिएक्शन फॉर्मेशन जिस तरह उसके नाम से जाहिर है कि एक इम्पल्स है और उस इम्पल्स की बिल्कुल ऑपोजिट आप जाहिर करते हैं, और ये दो प्रोसेस में होता है. सबसे पहले तो आप उस अनएक्सेप्टेबल इम्पल्स को सप्रेस करते हैं, रिप्रेस करते हैं, और फिर दूसरे स्टेप में उसके एग्जैक्ट ऑपोजिट को एक्सप्रेस करते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, यू हेट समवन, सो यू रिप्रेस इट, ठीक है जी, एंड येट यू डेवलप वर्किंग रिलेशंस विद इट, और बिल्कुल ऑपोजिट उसके आप उसके साथ बहुत अच्छे वर्किंग रिलेशंस उस इंडिविजुअल के साथ डेवलप करते हैं. दैट इज रिएक्शन फॉर्मेशन. You hate the idea of delivering a speech. आपको तकरीर करना और तकरीर करने वाले लोग सख्त नापसंद हैं. You repress this and you express its opposite. आप एक बहुत शानदार किस्म की तकरीर करते हैं. That is reaction formation. Another important ego defense mechanism, regression. Still another common defense mechanism that we use to defend ourselves against anxiety. Regression involves a reversion to an earlier stage of psychosexual development or to a mode of expression that is simpler and more childlike. it is a way of alleviating anxiety by retreating to an earlier period of life. Example, a child has been separated from his mother due to remarriage of his father. So he regresses to a period when he had the love of both his parents. Regression. Regression का मतलब ही है moving towards an earlier period of your life. Now here we have talked about and taken an example of a little child who has been separated from his mother because his father has remarried, his father has married another woman. So he regresses, he moves towards that earlier period of his life when both the parents were together and he had an opportunity to live with his mother. So that is regression, moving from your present condition to an earlier, safer stage of your life where you feel secured and safe. जनाब, बात आपसे हमने की ईगो डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म्स की या कूपिंग स्ट्रेटजीज की या कूपिंग स्टाइल्स की, और ये ईगो डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म्स जितनों की हमने आपसे बात की, ऑल ऑफ देम विद एक्सेप्शन ऑफ सब्लिमेशन ऑपरेट एट द अनकॉन्शियस लेवल, दे डिस्टॉर्ट रियलिटी एंड दे प्रोटेक्ट योर ईगो. बात आपसे कर रहे थे हम ईगो डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म्स की. नाउ लेट अस टॉक अबाउट टेक्निक्स ऑफ टैपिंग द अनकॉन्शियस, or let us talk about techniques of psychoanalysis. Dear students, let us begin with a new interesting thing, and that is how we can tap the unconscious. या जो आपने पहले भी शायद you are familiar with the techniques of psychoanalysis. Psychoanalysis is a therapeutic process which reveals unconscious mental process and conflicts through catharsis and insight. The first technique is free association. The patient is asked to lie on a couch and the therapist sits behind the patient, and then the patient is asked to give a running account of his thought pattern, uninterrupted without social censoring. This technique brings to the conscious level emotionally loaded material that at times can be painful, threatening to be discussed at the conscious level. बात आपसे हो रही है जनाब टेक्निक्स ऑफ साइको एनालिसिस की, और उसमें हमने कहा कि सबसे पहली टेक्निक है फ्री एसोसिएशन. द पेशेंट इज आस्क्ड टू लाई ऑन द काउच and he is asked to give a running account of his thought pattern without censoring it. That is, whatever thoughts comes to his mind, however sexual, aggressive they are, he is to give a running account of them as they occur in his mind without censoring them, without modifying them, without changing them. ये थी पहली टेक्निक. Let us talk about dream analysis. Now, in 1900, Sigmund Freud wrote his book Interpretation of Dreams. Now, in this book, he said that dreams are wish fulfillment phenomena. हम सब ख्वाब देखते हैं, और ये जो ख्वाब हैं, they stand for our unfulfilled wishes. So, when you dream about a wish, when you dream about something, that wish is partially fulfilled. You derive partial gratification, satisfaction from it. और जो dreams हैं, every dream has a manifest content. वो scenes, वो persons, वो individuals जो आपको नजर आ रहे हैं are important. And number two, the wishes behind these dreams. That is the latent hidden meaning of every dream. तो जनाब ये वो पर्सनल वजह थी जिसकी वजह से he began talking about dream analysis. Dream analysis refers to the process in which the contents of the dream, usually the id impulses, wishes related to the unconscious conflicts, and the therapist interprets the contents of the dreams and relates them to various unconscious wishes. Janab, let us take an example. Suppose you go to the bazaar and you want to buy a very expensive pair of shoes. Now, you ask your mother to buy them for you. she says you are out of your mind, forget them, you are not getting them. मैं नहीं आपको ये खरीद के दे रही, forget it. Now at night, when you go to sleep, you dream about becoming the owner of that shoe shop. So there was an id impulse, and this id impulse has been fulfilled in the dream, and you derive partial gratification or satisfaction by dreaming about it. Dear students, today we have talked about, number one, the concept of instincts. We have talked about with you life instincts. We have talked about death instincts. We have talked about eros and thanatos with you with examples. Then we have talked about psychosexual stages of development. जनाब बहुत डिटेल में हमने आपसे बात की ओरल, एनल, फेलिक, लेटेंसी पीरियड और जेनिटल स्टेज की, और हमने कहा कि एवरी स्टेज इज इम्पॉर्टेंट. देयर आर नीड्स or there are needs which have to be gratified at every stage. If they are not gratified, there is a danger of fixation or regression. So we did talk about psychosexual stages of development. उसके बाद जनाब we talked about that there is anxiety. Anxiety is a threat to the ego, and we talked about 3 types of anxiety: realistic anxiety, neurotic anxiety, moral anxiety, with examples. Then we talked about ego defense mechanisms. हमने आपसे बात की coping strategies, coping styles और ego defense mechanisms की. And then we are talking about techniques of psychoanalysis, but we'll continue about them in lecture number 6. So dear students, take care of yourself. Please go through the PowerPoint slides and the Word document. Do write to us if you have a problem. Take very good care of yourself. Hope to see you soon. It is Khuda Hafiz.